Hello, this is a movie review for the movie Lucas, came out in 1986. This was the late Corey Haim, Charlie Sheen, Kerri and Winona Ryder in the first movie role. For some reason, this movie is one of the most underrated teen films back during the 1980s. Most of the films from the 1980s, mostly the John Hughes movies, got a big cult following, but for some reason Lucas didn't, and I don't know why. Maybe because most of the stars did not have a big movie career after this movie came out. I mean, you did have Corey Haim, who died 2 years ago from a drug overdose, but the other sort of naturally Charlie Sheen, all of his problems have been so public, and this was one of his early roles, one of the decent roles that Charlie Sheen has had. And then you have Winona Ryder in her first movie role, and we know she got arrested a few years ago for shoplifting. But other than those two names, most of the stars of the film did not have a huge. For some reason, they have a huge movie career. You have Kerri, who was the love interest of the film, and played Maggie. She only starred about at least only 3 movies: Summervento and The Goonies, which came out the year before Lucas, and of course Lucas itself. And then she went on to college, and her career pretty much died. I mean, she didn't star in anything else after Lucas for some reason. But only people who have a real big career after this film was Courtney Thorne-Smith, who played Charlie Sheen's girlfriend in the film. She got into a big television career, not a big movie career. Because Courtney Thorne-Smith, you might recognize her from Melrose Place, According to Jim, and Ally McBeal. So she had a TV career after Lucas, not a big film career. Even though she did films throughout the 80s, but she went on to television, became a big TV star. Well, in Lucas, the story is that Lucas, played by Corey Haim, plays the title character, and it was a couple of weeks before school starts. That's a couple of weeks of summer vacation. He's exploring the neighborhood, the town he lives in, and looking at insects, which is his hobby. He ends up finding Maggie, who's played by Kerri, and they instantly become friends and start hanging out together. Last couple of weeks of summer vacation, she taught him how to drive, and give Lucas, who played with Corey Haim, gave him a tennis lesson, told him how to drive, and he told her about what he likes to do, and which was collecting finding insects and looking at them, and which is his hobby, and listen to classical music, or sneak into a there's one scene where they snuck into a classical music concert, and they listened to classical music. And then when school starts, Maggie, who was played by Kerri, is a new girl in town, so she didn't really know Lucas, never really picks on him or anything else. But you find out when school starts, when Maggie finds out, is that he gets constantly being picked on by the football team. And in one of the film, Lucas keeps telling you how he knows some of the members of the team, and his friend, who's played by Charlie Sheen, is the wide receiver, the best player on the football team. And he goes, "Oh, you really know those guys?" And he said, "Yeah, I know them." And they just don't hang out with them because they feel that they're all superficial. And through the whole movie, I think one of the big complaints of the film is he always complains about how superficial football players are, how superficial the cheerleaders are, that they all go out and party, they all have a good time, and they do pretty much the type of stuff that Lucas was not interested in. And he feels that they should take life a little bit more seriously, and the football players, don't. They rather go out and have a good time and party, and that time the drinking age was lower then, so they go out and drink beer or whatever, and Lucas doesn't do that stuff, and so he complains about it, and so the football team, one particular one named Bruno, is the ringleader. He picks on Lucas to death, practically, almost, because he's the one real guy who constantly picks on Lucas through the whole film. And Charlie Sheen's character defends him, saying, "Hey, why you always pick?" Says to Bruno in the movie thing, when you see a movie, so why you always pick on Lucas for? What has he done to you to deserve to get constantly getting picked on? And Bruno says, "Well, because he's a wimp. That's why I pick on him. Lucas is a wimp. Lucas is a wimp. He's a wimpy kid. He's always mouthing off, and so that's why I pick on him, because he's a wimp." And Charlie Sheen doesn't feel that way. And Maggie wanted to know why, of all the football players, how come he's the only one who treats Lucas with respect and a little bit of dignity, which not nobody else in the school really does. And so Charlie Sheen said, "Oh, because there's one particular scene where Charlie Sheen's character, whose name's Cappy, tells Maggie, because he was homesick for a couple of months, and Lucas brought me my homework and my school books every day. Make sure they don't fall back too much with my schoolwork. And so I figure, says he helped me out, and figure I help him out, and I defend him from Bruno and other kids who want to pick on him." So Maggie likes that. Maggie was almost instantly attracted to Cappy, and Lucas gets jealous over the fact that Maggie is going out with Maggie is interested in the Charlie Sheen character and not him, because when Lucas first sees Maggie in the beginning in the first couple of minutes of the film, falls instantly in love with Maggie. But unfortunately, he is 14, or his character is supposed to be 14, and Maggie's character is 16 years old. So there's two age difference, and apparently Lucas does not have the maturity to properly express his feelings for Maggie, and he never really. That's one of the other criticism of the film, is that he never really expresses his feelings towards Maggie. And so, that she's his love, first love, and all that type of thing. And he doesn't express himself properly because he doesn't have maturity enough to do it. But Lucas does have a little group of friends, mostly from the band, and he hangs out with. He's a little fat kid that friend, throughout the film, he's always with the video camera because he was going out for the video club. Lucas's friend. And Winona Ryder's character, Rena, is the one girl who really does love Lucas, because they're about the same age. I think they're about the same age in the film. It wasn't really known, but I think Winona Ryder's character and Lucas was roughly about the same age. So her character, Rena, does love Lucas and knows a lot of his backstory, which you don't really know that much of Lucas's backstory, or really any of the characters, really, except for the one scene where Charlie Sheen explains, or Cappy explains to Maggie why he defends Lucas all the time. And there was a little bit of backstory there. And then Courtney Thorne-Smith's character was Charlie Sheen's girlfriend in the film. And all of a sudden she gets so jealous of Maggie, because they've been going out together in the film I think it was established for 3 years. That Cappy and Elise, who was Courtney Thorne-Smith's character, was going out together for about 3 years. And Courtney Thorne-Smith's character, Elise, sees seeing Cappy being attracted to Maggie, because he's looking at him and smiling at him and being nice and doing a little flirting with Maggie. and at least didn't like that. So there was a big, and so you see that building that there's going to be a romance between Maggie and Cappy, and Lucas starts seeing it too, and he starts getting jealous because he feels that he should have the relationship with Maggie, because he found her first, he was attracted to her first, but unfortunately Maggie didn't feel that love or that attraction for Lucas, for all their friends. They're gonna hang out and be friends that they can hang out with, and go to the mall, to a movie or something. But she never saw that relationship with Lucas like she could with Cappy. So Lucas gets jealous, and here comes the other big criticism of the film, is that throughout the whole movie, Lucas goes to how superficial football players are, the cheerleaders are, football games, and even though that he's in the band, he actually goes to the football games as part of the school's band. But he doesn't like the football players, because naturally, of course, they're always picking on him. And rightly so, because you're constantly being picked on, you're not going to like them either. But Lucas figures that he will join the football team, because he feels that if he joins the football team, Maggie will fall in love with him and not fall in love with Cappy. Well, and everybody tries to talk about Lucas because Corey Haim in the movie is very small, very thin, and is not very athletic. So everybody's trying to talk him out of, hey, Luke, you're not, capable of playing football. You're not built out for it. You don't have the physique. You're small. You're thin. You don't have a big muscle tone like these football players do. And you're kind of average. So he says, "Oh, I'm going to do it. Can you at least there's one scene where he's talking to, I think, either the principal or the counselor or something, named Mr. Kaiser. And there's everything established if he was the principal, the vice principal, or the school's counselor. It was never really established. But he talks him out of it, and Lucas asked him, can he sit on the bench? And I'm sorry, Luke, you're not even going to be allowed to even sit on the bench. Suit up and just sit there, take up space. They weren't even going to allow him. They were not going to allow Lucas to even do that. But Lucas had found out that there was a dance scene. They were supposed to go to a dance, and just before then, Elise broke off her relationship with Cappy because she got jealous over his possible relationship with Maggie. So what happened was they were supposed to go. Cappy and Elise were supposed to take Lucas and Maggie to the dance. Didn't happen. So Lucas went to the dance anyway, without him, because he's not going to ruin. He doesn't want to ruin my night, even though it was ruined because he didn't go with Maggie. And I figured, if I go with Maggie, all the other kids would say, hey, Lucas normal, he's not a geek, or he's not a wimp because he likes girls. Even though it wasn't really said, there wasn't any homosexual remarks towards Lucas in the film. There wasn't really any, but to prove that, hey, he could be just as normal as the popular kids by having this beautiful girl, and Kerri Bean was that. Her character was a knockout, and to have this film, and to have the date, the date with her, but unfortunately it didn't happen. And he went by himself, and he spies on Maggie and Cappy at a pizza place, and they were kissing and making out, and then he got jealous, and he went to the football game anyway. He got into the locker room, he suited up, ran on the field, and he says to the coach, look, I could play, I could run fast. Even though that I'm short and my size, I could run fast. And the coach says, forget it. Forget it. You don't fit. You don't fit in here. And that's pretty much the theme of the whole movie, that Lucas never was trying to fit in and couldn't fit in. and he always gets left out in the crowd and all that stuff. So, but Lucas talked his way into getting into a game. He got into like 2 plays, and the rest of the football team was saying, "Hey, get Lucas on the field. He doesn't belong on the field. He's going to get killed." But these guys who were like 5 times the size of Lucas, because you know how football players are much bigger than any other athlete. And he says, "Oh, he doesn't belong on this field." And he says, "I do belong here. I'm just as good as anybody else, despite my size." So, but the coach says, "Okay, we don't have to lose. We're going to put you in the game." So he tries one play, gets creamed, and the coach says, "You had an Lucas, Bly," which was Lucas's last name, had enough. And he's trying to get Lucas off the field, and the refs didn't pull Lucas out for some reason. And the coach is playing with the referees. Look, I want this other kid out, and have one of my regular players in there. The referees didn't want it. And the second play, that's when Lucas got. I know I'm giving it away, but Lucas does get severely, injury, gets knocked out, gets sent to the hospital, and this is where you finally find out 3/4 of the way from the film, when you find out Lucas's backstory, which Lucas always tried to hide the fact, but his facts of his parents. His parents doesn't do stuff, and they're all superficial type thing. And they don't really bother with Lucas doing the stuff in school with Lucas. And Maggie kind of find that kind of suspicious, especially in the beginning of the film, as to where are Lucas's parents? How come I never met his parents? And because Maggie talks about her parents all the time, talking about how her parents got divorced, and why they ended up getting divorced, and so Lucas says, "What were your parents?" And Maggie says to Lucas, "What were your parents?" And he's always very hesitant talking about his parents for the whole film. And after he gets injured in the football game, they go to where Lucas's house was, which you see in the beginning of the film. And Cappy, she drives her, Maggie, and Rena on the Winona Ryder character to Lucas's house, or the house that you thought that Lucas lived in, and says, "Oh, here's the house. Tell me, say when we get up to this house." And he said, "Okay, when?" And we get to this house, and Rena says, "Oh, Lucas doesn't live here." Maggie looks at us. "What do you mean he doesn't live here? I've seen him here. This is where I met him. I met Lucas here. I've seen him here. I met him here." And he said, "No, this is one of the houses he works at. He works for a gardener." And she says, yeah, Rena's right. Lucas does work for a gardener." And so they found out he actually lives in a trailer park. And Rena tells Maggie that I don't know whatever happened to his mother. I don't know whatever happened to the mother. I know he naturally have them. We all have mothers, but we don't know whatever happened to her. She's like, either she died or she left or whatever the reason was. And so, okay, what about the father? And so, well, the father is an alcoholic father. He's never meant for Luke. He's always drunk and passed out all the time. So you never really met either one of Lucas's parents. And it really shows what a sad life Lucas has. And his parents are never there for him. He doesn't have his mother. His mother's never there for him. Either that she, died, or she left the situation because the father's always drunk. So you see, the father was always drunk or passed out, so he's not there, and it's a shame. It really sees what shame it is. And then, of course, in the end of the movie, you had Lucas forgave Maggie, for this whole thing, and Maggie says, "Look, I don't want you ever playing football again, because you don't need to play football to impress me or to be, my friend." And so we're still friends, and I do care for you. I don't, love you, no, love you, but I do care enough about you. I don't want you to go playing football and getting hurt. And Lucas says, yeah, but I had to do it because I felt like I had to do it to impress you. And they say, well, you don't have pretty much saying, oh, you don't need to, impress me. And then, my problem with the film was that his my problem. And even though I do like the film, and give it, like thumbs up or 4 stars out of 4 or whatever for this film. But the problem that I had with it is 3/4 of the film, you see Lucas constantly being picked on, particularly with the football team. And then when he joins the football team to impress, not for the sake of joining the team, but to impress Maggie, he of course ends up getting severely injured, and he had like a concussion and bruises all over his face and cuts and scrapes. He got knocked out. In the play during the game. So now all of a sudden, because he joined the football team, he's accepted. And that was my problem with Lucas. Is that all of a sudden he joins the football team, and he makes this big play, and he ends up getting hurt during this play, and he ends up in the hospital for maybe a couple of days in the hospital. And all of a sudden now he's accepted. I mean that was kind of like cheesy. Instead of saying, "Hey, you stupid wimp! This would teach you not to play in our sport, or to come on our field." That stuff happened during the actual game, but after when Lucas got hurt, it didn't happen again. That type of stuff, and that's what you get, Lucas, for being on our field. You're messing with our game and everything else. That's what you deserve to get injured. That stuff, just didn't happen. And it was, kind of like a heartbreaking scene when he did get hurt in the football game. It really was hurt some, and it was really heartbreaking to see the main character being injured like that. And everybody who was laughing at this little skinny little kid playing football with all these guys who like about 2 or 3 times the size of Lucas, and the crowd was laughing about it, and said, "Is that Lucas?" And they're all laughing, except for his little group of friends. His friend Ben, who was the fat kid, was with him in the band and the video club. He was quite upset. Rena was upset because Maggie was crying. Rena, she was crying. Over Lucas being hurt, because naturally he didn't know how severely he was hurt. And of course the coach, who was laughing about, haha, you had enough type stuff. And as soon as Lucas got hurt, his whole attitude changed. Everybody's attitude changed the moment that Lucas got hurt, because now all of a sudden it's not funny anymore. This is now it's a serious issue. So everybody was not kidding anymore with Lucas. Now they're treating him seriously. Now they're treating him with more respect, and it had to do because he played football. Almost killed him. He almost ended up killing himself in the game, which was kind of. That was the one thing that I had a problem with. I recently watched the movie with my father, and he says, "No, it's Joe. I don't see you that way." And I said, "Because they want to be there for him." I said, "Yeah, but that's not because you see the scene in the hospital. All the kids are sitting in the hospital, waiting for word on how Lucas was doing." And then when that scene happened, and then you see the scene in the end when he comes back to school after being injured. You see him with the big bandage on his forehead, and he did get. There was one particular kid in the background says, "Hey, Jock, you blew it." And his girl says, "Well, keep trying." And at least the girl, in that scene when he walked up the steps and was going to go to his locker, and I was encouraging him. I said, "Hey, you keep trying." And so he gets to his locker, and everybody's waiting for him, including guys from the football team. The guy Bruno, who was picking on through the whole movie, he's standing there by his locker like this, with his attitude, with arms crossed like this. And Lucas opens up his locker and he finds a football jacket. In his locker, it has his name on the back and the number he had. And everybody starts applauding him and saying, "Hey, try it on." And urging him to try on the jacket. And the jacket was bigger than he was. And it was kind of funny. And then he put his arms up and said, "Yes." And I mean, that's how the movie ended. And the coach didn't say anything. So now Bruno, even though he was picking on Lucas in the whole movie, accepted him. And Lucas did kind of, like the fact that now he's finally accepted. Now hopefully people will stop picking on him after that. And that's how the movie ended. And well, Lucas is still a very, very good movie, even though it had that little, problem that I had with it at the end. But everybody accepts it now because he played in a football game. In the first game, which was, it wasn't a championship game, it was just the first game of the football season. And he gets accepted, after he nearly killed himself in the game. And before that, nobody cared. Which was the problem I had. Nobody cared about, Lucas, at least the popular kids. Never really cared about Lucas, didn't give 2 cents for him. Well, I'm trying to clear my language. So 2 cents, they didn't give 2 cents for Lucas. Because they consider him a nerd and a wimp and everything else. And as soon as he plays the game, everybody, he's accepted. Which is, the problem that I had with the film. Because I wasn't particularly athletic either. But in some circles, I was accepted when I was in school. Particularly in junior high school, I was accepted. And as an equal, but not in. But Lucas, he was constantly being picked on, and he played in the game, and all of a sudden everybody accepts him. So that's the one problem I had with Lucas. Other than that, I give it, high reviews, and I enjoy the movie. I still enjoy the movie, even though the movie is now 20. I think it's like 27 years old now. But it's still a very good movie. It's a very watchable film. And if you haven't seen Lucas, you really are missing something. And it's not a particularly long film. It's only about an hour and 40 minutes. So you can spend an hour and 40 minutes watching this film, and it's just as good, if not better, in some cases, than the John Hughes movies, which has a huge cult following. For some reason, Lucas does not have a huge cult following. And I do remember when Lucas came on DVD, I think in 2002 or 2003, when Lucas came on DVD. And I remember seeing this review in the paper, when in the New York Post actually. They had a column with the, doing DVD reviews on the new DVD films, or new releases. And he complained about Lucas, about the point that I just made, that he constantly calls football players superficial. Because the football players superficial, and cheerleaders, and the football boys, and all that type of thing. He calls all that superficial. And then he ends up joining the football team, at the end of the movie, and so he called that superficial. And the reviewer called that ridiculous because he feels that, kind of degenerate to the character because he was constantly that way throughout the whole film. And then he gets, joins the team, and all of a sudden, boom, he's accepted. That's the problem that I had. That's the problem that I had with him. That he joins the team, he gets picked on through the whole movie, and then he, joins the team, gets injured. He gets injured pretty badly, and all of a sudden he got accepted with the football team, which, it's kind of like a hokey thing, which I didn't really care for, because I was injured playing in a football game in junior high school, and that stuff didn't happen to me because in junior high schools you don't have a football team in New York City. So that type of stuff didn't happen to me. So when I saw Lucas, and then when that happened to him, and he got accepted after being injured, and then like, so to end this review, please see the movie Lucas. See if you get it on Netflix or on YouTube or something. I think there's a version of it on YouTube, but the negative is reversed because for the copyright rules, the person, I saw one version of it on YouTube, and somebody posted the entire movie, but the person flipped the negative, so that you don't have to worry about the copyright, because it was afraid maybe would be taken down for copyright rules. Well, thank you for watching the review of Lucas. I didn't know if I'm going to do any more movie reviews, but I just want to do one for Lucas because I haven't really seen a proper review for this film. And please see Lucas. Is an enjoyable movie, and it has Charlie Sheen in before he went nuts. You have Winona Ryder there before she got arrested for shoplifting, and you see Courtney Thorne-Smith before she became a big TV star, and you see Kerri Green, from the Goonies, and some Memento, and in this film, and she looks just as beautiful in Lucas as she had in the other two films she did, because in the Goonies her hair was wrapped the whole movie, but in Lucas she was very, very good. She was beautiful in the movie. Compared to all the other girls, she was like the prettiest and the most beautiful one of all the girls in the film. So please get a chance to see Lucas, and thank you for watching the movie. Thank you for watching the review.